Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Friday, February 10th, 2023. My name is Jeremy, and guess what? This is my first call. It only took me a week and a half to do this. So good. Coffee down here is so good. How are you? Yes, I am feeling much better. Figured out partway through the day that what I really needed was sleep, more sleep. I was not getting good sleep, and so that was a priority yesterday. In between meetings, I was taking naps and got back to my room, took a nap for an hour to see, okay, is this going to be enough? Do I want to get back up and go out? I still haven't eaten anything. I haven't eaten anything since dinner on Wednesday. My body's just off, and I'm just going to let it do its thing. But I slept the best I've slept yet here, and still not great, but compared to what I was doing, it feels a lot better. I want to say good morning to Rebecca, Kelly, Nathan, Stacy, and Gad, and all the rest of you out there watching live or listening. Thank you. Now, we have to talk about yesterday, because yesterday, despite being ill, may go down as the most professionally significant day of my life to date. All right, here's the deal. And I'm not going to give a lot of details. Just forgive me for that, because, good morning, Frank, because I don't talk about clients in detail. But let's just say that I had 3 calls with potential clients, 2 of whom were martial arts schools. And both calls went really well. And both people already knew me. So they kind of know what I stand for, which makes what we do really easy. I'll be honest, if I went way back to the beginning of Whistlekick and thought, maybe we make all this stuff and then people get to know me and then I offer consulting services, never would have occurred to me. But I think it's an important part of what we're doing, and there are plans. Good morning, Dennis. And yes, Stacy, we got to talk about that. Please remind me, State of the Martial Arts dropped yesterday. But the method that I'm using to help schools is working, and it's working very well. And we will continue to share that method, and I will continue to work with as many schools as I can. And there's even somebody on the team, actually multiple people on the team, that I'm going to be working with to teach my methodology so they can also help schools. Okay. So that's not the hugely significant part. The hugely significant part is unrelated to martial arts. I met someone in my travels coming down here. We had a great conversation on the plane. And he wanted to talk about moving forward with me doing some consulting for him. There were a few things on his plate that he was trying to take off his plate. This is actually multiple successful businesses that he operates. And I said, this is actually right up my alley. And we talked for probably an hour on the flight from JFK down to Cancun. And so we had a call yesterday. Now, I expected that call to be a little bit more of a sales call. No, he's like, no, we already talked about this. No. It was more of what I would call an implementation call. How am I going to do this? What is this going to look like? He wants me to put something together. He's like, how much does this cost? And I said, well, we're in between this number and this number. He's like, fine. It's a large number. It's a number that changes things. It's not going to be easy work. It's going to be challenging work. I would enjoy it very much so. But what does all that mean? It means that I can move things around in terms of finances, and profitability is achieved instantly for Whistlekick. Because I could count the school consulting I do as Whistlekick work. I don't. I could, right? Um, it makes a lot of things a lot easier. Not to mention, as I'm riding that wave, one of the gentlemen in the co-working space here, we just start chatting about what he does, real estate in the city, and what I do, and he's like, I think I need you. So we had a talk for about half hour, 45 minutes. Maybe I have an apartment here. This week has been so incredible for me, and I can't ignore that. I can't ignore that it was here that did this. So some of you will likely be jumping to conclusions at this point. Oh my God, Jeremy's going to move to Mexico. Maybe if I do that, it's not going to be something that happens overnight. And I also don't envision myself living here full time. Because if you've ever been in Vermont for summer, you know how magical it is. I don't want to give up that. Right? Would I give up Vermont winter? Yeah, I would. I enjoy winter, but this place is pretty special too. Okay. Frank says he submitted extra jokes today to make Jeremy feel better. I just hope they're not too cheesy. I bet they're cheese-themed jokes. I'm telling you, the coffee here is incredible. So Stacy mentioned, yeah, let's bring it up again. State of the Martial Arts dropped. Yes. So for those of you who may have missed it when we did it live, whatever day that was, January 9th, I think it was a month ago. State of the Martial Arts was a group effort that I led, talking about where the martial arts industry is and where we believe it should go and the things that are holding it back. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? It was about an hour. It was probably the most blunt I've ever been in an episode. Not blunt in terms of, waving my hands and swearing, because I've done that before, but blunt in terms of, this is where we're messing up. This is where we need to take better ownership. And hey, you folks out there that are doing this, and this, you need to stop it because you're screwing it up. Okay. So that is, we dropped that as an episode yesterday. You will also see material from that surface in other ways because it was a really important thing that we did. We're going to cut it up in video. There will be text of it. It's just, there were some really important things that we put out there. We're going to continue to push those things because they are so important. Yeah, it says always making plans, always growing. Good for you. Thank you. I'm a shark, right? What happens when a shark stops swimming? They die. I will not stop growing. I will not give up. I will not quit. I believe we all have the capacity to be so much more than we are. No matter where you are, you can be more. And I want to show people that that's possible. How do I do that? By doing as much as I can for myself. Can everybody do me a favor and hit the like or the thumbs up or the heart or whatever, depending on what platform you're watching on right now, please? I would appreciate that. And Kelly says, I totally hear you on the relocating idea to warmer, sunnier areas. Yeah. So it is no secret that I love Vermont. It is no secret that I love hiking in the winter more than I do in the summer. I love the snow to a certain degree. But I have questions about whether or not our bodies are designed to live in that environment. And here's the best example. I get incredibly, and this is going to sound really trivial, but just bear with me for a moment. My calves get incredibly dry living in Vermont, 6 to 8 months of the year. I'm not going to show you my legs on camera, but not right now. I didn't do anything. I didn't put lotion on them when I got here. The thumbprint reader on my phone Doesn't work when I'm in Vermont. Works here because my skin's not so dry. Okay, there's something to that. I don't know quite how significant that is, but if I look at it from a physical health standpoint, there's something there. And regarding what we internally are referring to as SOTMA or SOTMA, Kelly says, Jeremy didn't hold back any punches. Ha! And Kelly, and this is kind of why I said that, because I know, Kelly, you've got some stuff that you're facing. I'm a totally different person in Florida. I feel human. I think we all have places that we feel good, places we don't. For a lot of us, it's in our whatever, right? Our dojo, dojang, school, academy, whatever you call that place that you train with other people. It's the place that I most feel at home. It really is. I haven't had that for a little while now, and I do miss it. But I think it's important to have a place that you feel you are at home. And I'll say it publicly because the people that are going to get upset about it aren't watching or listening. But I love Vermont. I don't know that I love Vermonters. Vermonters are wonderful people that take care of their own and care very much. But I have a hard time befriending them. I've had a much easier time befriending complete strangers down here, whether they are locals or tourists. Right? I seem to get along with people better outside of Vermont, and I don't know what that means. Maybe it's me, but I want to be somewhere that feels like home all the time. Good morning, Andy. Gad says, for me, it's Taiwan. That is my true home, although I wasn't born there. And I think it's important to acknowledge that. This is one of the values of travel. And if we take that concept of you have to travel around to find what feels like home, what feels right, I think there's a martial arts concept in there too. Training different things with different people in different ways. How else are you going to know what works for you, what feels good, what is home in terms of your training? You know when I feel at home with my training? When I'm working with people primarily in a teaching capacity, and we're working through slow and conceptual work. That's when I am most at home. What we are rebranding from Magic of Slow to Likely, and this is on my list and something I've got to get done at some point soon, reduced intensity training method. Right. Because it is a methodology. It's more than just a 2-hour class. It's a whole methodology that can be applied to anything in our physical training. And it's the thing that as we move forward, and as I move forward as a martial artist, it's my thing. That's going to be my thing. Because it's where I feel most at home, and it's where the intersection of my brain and my movement really comes through. Kelly says, we'll have to get Jeremy a sombrero. Sombreros aren't really my style, but those kind of Cuban hats, those Cuban straw hats, those I kind of dig. Jenny says, I do have more confidence and less anxiety while training, and my health improves at the beach. And spoiler alert for some of you, it's already in our team organizational tool. I want to put together something kind of like All In Weekend, but in a warm place. And maybe that's somewhere down in this area. Probably not here, because here would be more expensive than I want it to be. I want to do something that's like 5-6 days. And so we'll find some beach resort in a town that's a little more off the beaten path, a little less trafficked, and see if we can't get that for next winter. Kelly says, totally out there comment, by the way, I love those. But way back, tribes would have summer locations and winter locations that they travel to every year. Yes. Yes. There were exceptions for where groups lived, but any of the groups that lived in really northern climates, what did they have to do? They lived on fish. Why? Because they needed vitamin D. And they were really pale. Can you notice this is like super tan for me? The lighting here is not great, so you might not be able to tell, but there are freckles. There are freckles in my skull. Can you see the freckles on top of my head? All right. So what's going on today? Today is a short day. Got a handful of things I'm going to do. None of them are super big, but I'm going to do a few hours of work here. Once I'm done talking to all of you, have a call with one of the members on the team who I'm not ready to recognize publicly yet because things have not been signed. But let's just say that somebody on the team, and folks on the team know what I'm talking about, folks on the core team, took something that we've been trying to do for years and just hammered away at it, felt incredibly discouraged, kept going. We agreed, all you've got to do is get this to happen once and it's going to get so much easier. And they made it happen. And that too is going to, we will look back on that moment, that phone call that this person had yesterday, as revolutionary in the future of Whistlekick. And so we have a call, and that's going to be the last thing that I do professionally today, to talk about what those next steps are from that thing that is now going to happen. And some of you wonder, well, what is it? Once it's set more in stone, I'll talk about it on Patreon. But you all notice it eventually because it will happen. You'll just see something happen and go, oh, that's new. I wonder if that's what Jeremy was talking about a month, 2 months ago. It'll probably be a couple months before you see the result of it. But I am super pumped. Super pumped. If you all want to throw some things in the chat about what you're doing today and this weekend, I'm going to go to the beach at some point. Was invited. There's a poker game here tonight. I don't play poker, but I will come and I will hang out and meet people because most of the people I've met here have been pretty cool. So why not meet people? We'll probably get to the beach this weekend. Might go to Chichen Itza this weekend. I feel, it's interesting. I want to go because it's, one of the wonders of the world. But at the same time, I've seen 2 of the other pyramids. And so I'll probably go on Sunday. Probably go to the beach Saturday. We'll see. I don't know. Figure it out. Now, Frank did send over some jokes, and I'm going to read those, and we're going to talk about the stuff that I didn't read yesterday. Thank you for everyone's concern. I got a lot of messages. I'm not knocked down ill very often, but yeah, I think it was a combination of being tired and possibly some food I ate. That's my guess. But I've also been fighting. I felt it in the back of my throat, fighting something off pretty much the entire time I've been here. And I think I was just well enough that it was able to take. And he's asking, any fishing? No, fishing is not really my thing. I like being in the boat. If I was with a group of people who wanted to go fishing, yeah, I'd go fishing. But I had some really bad luck catching fish in really awkward ways as a kid, and it was kind of traumatic, and I won't name the spots, but let's just say that, catching a fish in the mouth, great. Catching a fish pretty much anywhere else when you're 8 years old and don't have someone else to pull the hook, traumatic. Kat says, you're a globetrotter when you were jaded towards pyramids. I'm not jaded. The one I went to on Tuesday, I was expecting I could climb it because a bunch of people commented. They're like, oh, it's the only one you can climb. Well, they changed that at the beginning of the thing that happened a few years ago. So I wasn't able to do the thing I wanted to do, which was stand barefoot on the top of a pyramid. That made me sad. But, yeah. And it's not like this is my only time here. Like, I feel pretty strongly that I'll make it down here again. Good morning, Francis. Saludos. Yeah, nobody make me speak any Spanish while Francis is watching the show because he's gonna see how bad my Spanish is. But I'm working on it. I'm getting better. And everybody here actually is fairly accommodating. They know I speak English, and I'm trying with my Spanish and ask them like, "Is this how you would say this?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's how you would say that." Sweet. I'm working on it. All right. So let's start with the jokes. We're probably going to go long today. The jokes for Monday, Friday. No, actually, I think I do like that layout better. I don't use that one. Should I use this layout? I think this one's better. I don't know if you all can read it. The jokes for Monday, Friday. Yesterday was National Pizza Day. I did not have pizza. And even if I'd known that, I would have. Check out these cheesejokes.com. I called my wife and told her that I'll pick up pizza and Coke on the way back from work, but it seems she was not happy. She still regrets letting me name the kids. I read that terribly, but that's a great joke. Did one angry pizza say to the other, "You want a piece of me?" What do Mexicans use to cut pizzas? Little Caesars. That's hysterical. Our pizza guy is arrested for selling drugs. I've been a loyal customer for years. I had honestly had no idea he was selling pizzas to teach kids about punctuation. I honestly had no idea he was selling pizzas. Fun fact, a lot of pizza shops are fronts for drugs. Do you know that? Francis says, "You're better at Spanish than anyone thinks." Well, thank you. I appreciate that. To teach kids about democracy, I let them vote on dinner. They just pick pizza. I'm about to make tacos because they don't live in a swing state. These are really good. I got a new job delivering pizzas. Nobody really likes liver on pizza anyways. Okay. I tried to use an old Rod Stewart CD instead. It worked all right at first, but the plastic edge got dull right away. The first cut was the deepest. A line of delivery scooters parked out in front of a pizza place. Someone bumped into one of them and it toppled over and knocked down this one, which knocked down the next one and the next one. It was the dominoes effect. How do you fix a broken pizza? With tomato paste. I'm so bad at telling jokes because he always messed up the delivery. What size of pizza is the most spiritual? A medium. The Dalai Lama walks into a pizza shop. The Dalai Lama walks into a pizza shop and asks, "Can you make me one with everything?" A pizza got cheated on multiple times. Now it has crust issues. A blonde went for a pizza. The chef says, "Would you like it cut into 4 slices or 8?" The blonde says, "4, please. There's no way I could possibly eat 8 slices." What kind of pizza flies? Plain pizza. Did you hear Lobster? They got a job at Pizza Hut. He's working in the crust station. Get it? Crustation. An unconscious pizza maker was admitted to the hospital. They called him John Doe. There was some absolute gold in there. I'm not fully awake, Frank. I'm not getting it. That's not a judgment of you or the joke. That's just it's not landing for me. That's okay. All right. So we've got some topics to jump into. I want to know what you guys thought of those jokes. Did they inspire you to have pizza tonight? And so what did Frank give us? We've got some quotes from Denzel Washington, who is one of my favorite actors. If you in Training Day is my favorite Denzel movie because he's insane in that movie, and he plays so well against Ethan Hawke. I haven't seen that in a while. I should go back and watch that again. It's a longer movie. I think it's like 2.5 hours, so I don't watch it often, but it's a solid film. Jenny says, "Amazing, thank you, Frank." All right, Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. There's nothing wrong with dreaming, but so many of us set our expectations so low. When I have these calls with martial arts schools that have whatever number of students they have, they want, they're like, if I could just get 5 more students. I'm like, why not 50? Well, are you teaching everybody in your town? Do you live in some town that has like 100 people and you're teaching 20 of them? How many people live within a 15, 20-minute drive of your school? Oh, well, thousands. So let's get you another 100 students, 50 students. Let's reach. Take those dreams and make them real. See them. Write it out. What does that look like? When do you want to achieve that dream by? And how do you get there? If you clearly define what your goal is, and this is why martial arts is so successful for so many people, the goals are already laid out for you. You just have to keep working to get there. To get from whatever belt to whatever belt has a clearly defined path. And very little of our lives has that. Why do so many people thrive in a military environment? The same reason. What you need to do to get from here to there is clearly defined. In a lot of really successful professional environments, it's the same thing. You're doing this job. This is what this job looks like. This is what it entails. This is where we want you to put in the investment to grow and improve. And once we see this, then you will be promoted to that. Right? We can do that for anything. Doesn't matter if you're self-employed or not. And honestly, this is a lot of what I do professionally, is helping people get over their hangups on that and lay out what the goals are and how do we get there. Because it's just like martial arts. It's a whole bunch of small things. It's not big things. There are no big things. There are collections of very small things that are treated overwhelmingly. A phrase that I've found not everyone understands outside of English, but I've tried to get people to see it. How do you eat an elephant? Right? One bite at a time. It's the only way. Doesn't matter whether it's an elephant or a taco, or now I'm a little hungry for tacos. It tells me I'm feeling better. There's only one bite at a time. It's a question of how many bites you're willing to take and be disciplined. Francis says, yes, you helped me a lot with how to walk this path. It's still a work in progress, but you gave me a kick when I needed it the most, and it's been growing. Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you saying that. Francis and I worked on a project for something he's working on, and he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. I just, whether as a pun or not, give him a little kick, because I see the value in what he's doing. I see his dedication, his passion. For those of you who haven't found and followed his YouTube channel, you should. If I remember correctly, and Francis, correct me if I'm wrong, you've taken a little bit of a hiatus from that to focus on some other things, but there's wonderful, wonderful material there. Kelly says, my last testing the homework assignment for kids was to list 6 goals, which I have done before, but this time they had to list also their plan to achieve it. Yeah. Jenny says, 1 bite at a time, the concept behind most of what you do, and it worked. 12 months to health, 30-day challenge, etc. Yes. It is, and it is the future of most of what we're doing in terms of helping people, right? We're not going to tell people how to kick, but we will tell people this is how you get better at your kicks. And that's what Kick Clinic is for those of you who are going through it, right? It's a handful of things that do not make change in one day, but it's an approachable bite-size thing. It's not even an elephant. It's a baby elephant. Don't need a baby elephant. Take care, Andy. All right, so what's our next one? Why do we close our eyes when we pray, cry, kiss, or dream? Because the most beautiful things in life are not seen, but felt by the heart. I'm going to read that one more time, and I'm not going to add on to it because there is nothing to add. Why do we close our eyes when we pray, cry, kiss, or dream? Because the most beautiful things in life are not seen, but felt by the heart. And our last one for today. Nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks, fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. This is something I feel really strongly about. And thank you, Jenny. Jenny says, Kick Clinic is awesome. If you kick, do it. If you know me, you know I like kicking. If you've kicked with me, you know I'm a pretty good kicker. I'm in pretty good company with my kicks. And I think possibly most importantly, I've never been so injured that I couldn't kick. How do I do that? So let's talk about that quote. Falling forward, failed experiments. I think most of you know I don't like the word fail, because failure is only failure if you stop, right? If you quit before you've achieved. But we learn by making mistakes. If you've been to one of my seminars, I will often say, how does a baby learn how to walk? By falling down a whole lot. We learn by making mistakes. The secret to life, as far as I see it, is trying so many things that you figure out what you don't want to do. And if you look at martial arts, if you look at most things, there's a way you can view it that is just that. You start with unlimited possibilities. Envision a pie chart, unlimited possibilities. And as you try things and they don't work, start to cross some of them out. And you narrow up the pie to the things that work. And you could say that about sparring. You could say that about self-defense. You could say that about the way you do your forms. It's all just experimentation with some guidance to find methods that work. Most of us have come up with combinations or techniques that we wanted to try in our sparring, and we try them and they don't work. I'm like, all right, I feel like I gave that a good shot. It didn't work. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to try these other things. Right? Dennis says, looking forward to kicking off the program. See what I did there? Resting my achy breaky hip for a few weeks. Oh no, Dennis. Let me know if you want to chat about your hip. I've got, depending on what's going on with you, I might have some ideas. If you're not willing to mess up, then you can't grow. If you only do that which you are good at, you will not get better. How do you get stronger? By lifting weights near the edge of your capacity. How do you get faster? If you've been through the FAST program, our speed development program, you know that the root concept is by doing things as quickly as you can towards the edge of your capacity. How do you become more confident? Trying things at the edge of your capacity. Pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone. It's everything. We, in Western society, forget that middle ground is there. It's either comfort zone, where we sit on the couch and we eat pizza and we watch TV and we become less, or it's absolute full out in a way that is unsustainable. And then we go back to the couch and eat pizza and watch TV. Neither one of those serve us. It's about finding that speed, that push, that's a little uncomfortable, and staying there. I was terrified to come here. That's not what to worry. I was uncomfortable coming. 2 weeks, be gone from my home for 2 weeks, go to a strange place I've never been. I had no idea how I was going to make all this work. Look at me, I'm in an office. The first day I was here, I found an office for less than it would have cost me to have an office back home. Got a ton of work done. I've met some nice people. I'm signing clients left and right. Whistlekick work that I've done has been some of the best it's ever been. Why? Because I'm on the edge of my capacity. And so the programs that we do, the things that I talk about, the things I push people on, I want to help them find where the edge of that capacity is. Because that's where the growth is. Being uncomfortable, but not terrified. Right? So my goal for you, my hope for you this weekend is that you will find something that makes you a little uncomfortable, something you have an opportunity to do. Maybe there's a competition tomorrow that you are on the edge, maybe I'll do this. Do it, go do it. Well, my form's not ready, I don't care, go do it. Be willing to live life on the edge. And do you want, here, I'll give you proof. Here's proof that we are hardwired to go there, to be on the edge. What do you look at on social media? What are the things that you look at the most? Not the pictures of dogs. Right? It's people living on the edge. It's people doing cool stuff. What makes it cool stuff? It's on the edge. Nobody's watching video of people sitting on the couch eating pizza, watching TV. And they're not watching video of people who are skydiving for the first time, absolutely terrified. They're watching people who are wingsuiting, wingsuited enough that they are comfortable with it, but they're still on edge because it's wingsuiting. Or, take anybody who's swimming with sharks, right? It's still a shark. They're still uncomfortable. The more time you can spend there, the more gifts you will give to yourself, the better things will be, the better life will be, the better your training will be. Okay. So that's my hope. Kelly says, Jeremy, you definitely seem more relaxed. Can even notice it here. I am. I have plans. I don't quite know what they look like yet, but I know how they feel. So I'm going to go. That was a long session today, but we're making up for yesterday. Got to give you guys some value back, right? Here's my hope. My hope, those of you who are not doing Kick Clinic will check it out. If you haven't done the 30-day challenge, go check out the 30-day challenge. It's free. It's still free. It will always be free. Well, I can't say always, but I have no plans on it not being free. So check that out. Both are available at whistlekick.com. Kick Clinic is cheaper than you think it is. What else? You can join the Patreon. The family page, I think I updated that Wednesday. Maybe it was yesterday. Time is a little blurry for me. And if you want, you can make purchases at whistlekick.com using code FIRSTCOUPLE15. There is still plenty of sparring gear. There was a huge influx of orders when I first loaded that stuff in inventory. But if you've been thinking, hey, I might want some gear in the next month, don't wait. There's plenty there. Some of you are school owners. We have wholesale programs. So you can check that out. And that's it. So I'm going to go get some work done. And I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic week. And I will see you on Monday. Reminder, there will not be a show on Tuesday because the shuttle picks me up Tuesday at 4 a.m. So we're not doing that. I suppose I could do one from the airport, but I'm not going to do that because at 6:30 I'll be checking in at the airport. And I don't know, something about Mexican TSA. I've got a feeling they're not going to dig that. And Kelly's putting in a plug. We had a great one yesterday. Join the Patreon and then join us for the School Owners Mastermind. If you are a martial arts school owner and you want the lowest cost way to get access to my brain, as well as the brain of others who are doing really cool stuff, it's that $50 a month. You can write it off. If you don't come away with at least $50 worth of awesome ideas every month, you're probably asleep or not coming to the meetings. Yeah. And we'll end here with Francis. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, my friend. I thank all of you for all you do. Have a great day and weekend. Take care, everybody.